Dear students, I welcome you all to my class. Today I am going to explain a topic mycosporogenesis of chapter sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Students, you know that microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis are the two important events of sexual reproduction in flowering plants. I will be taking up these two topics one by one. The first one which I am going to explain, that is mycosporogenesis. It is a process by which pollen grains or male gametophyte is produced in flowering plants. Before coming on to the topic, I will try to brief you about a flower. You are well familiar with a flower. Flower is a reproductive structure of flowering plants. It consists of four parts. They are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Unit of calyx is sepal, corolla petals, androecium stamens and gynoecium carpel. Out of these four parts, the first two are accessory parts or non-essential parts, and the last two, androecium and gynoecium, are essential or reproductive parts of flowering plants. Students, here you can see the vertical section of flower showing all the floral parts, that is style, stigma, ovary, three parts of pistil, sepal, petals and thalamus. The mycosporogenesis or formation of pollen grain or male gametophyte takes place in anther part of the stamen. A stamen is male reproductive structure. It comprises two parts, the upper one anther and the lower one filament. This is the internal structure of a part of the anther showing liberation and release of pollen grains. This next structure is the transverse section of anther. It is the young anther showing four pollen sacs, and each pollen sac is having a specialized tissue called sporogenous parenchymatous mass of cells. Since there are two lobes in a typical dithecous or bithecous anther, hence in all there are four microsporangium or pollen sac in a typical anther of flowering plants. Next is the internal structure of pollen sac. A single pollen sac is shown here in this diagram. You can see the magnified view of this pollen sac. There are different layers of tissue around this pollen sac. The outermost layer of cells is called epidermis. The next to epidermis is endothecium, followed by 1 to 3 layer of parenchymatous cells, that is middle layer, and the innermost is tapetum. Out of these four layers, the three outer layers, that is epidermis, endothecium and middle layer, are protective in nature, whereas this innermost tapetum layer is nutritive. It supplies nutrients to the developing pollen grains. So here one very important thing which every one of you must note, that is each pollen sac has four distinct layer of cells outside the pollen sac or microsporangium. The outermost epidermis, next to epidermis is endothecium, and next to endothecium 1 to 3 layered middle layer, and the last one, that is tapetum, a nutritive tissue. This structure is of mature anther, and this is transverse section of mature anther. You can clearly see here there are 4 microsporangium or pollen sac, and now all the 4 pollen sacs are disorganized, and there are many a large number of pollen grains or microspores there in the microsporangium and or in anther. During the process of microsporogenesis, these microspores divide and are released through stomium. Dear students, with the help of this diagram, you can understand where the pollen grains are being produced and how they are released by the anther. And next is the process of microsporogenesis. Here I am going to explain how inside the pollen sac or microsporangium microspores are produced. This process is the process which actually happens inside the microsporangium that I am going to show here. This is the single cell. This single cell is of pollen sac. This is the young cell. This young cell of pollen sac which is diploid here, this and going to take part in the formation of pollen grain. This single cell which I have shown here, the single cell divides by meiosis and forms 4 cells. Each cell is haploid because this microspore mother cell is dividing by meiosis or reduction division. Hence, the number of chromosome is reduced to half in each daughter cell. I have shown here 3 spore tetrads. One is tetrahedral spore tetrad, second one is isobilateral spore tetrad, and third one is linear tetrad. These are the 3 forms of spore tetrad in which they assemble in anther of angiospermic plants. Since angiospermic plants have got large number of plants and the arrangement of this spore tetrad is different in different angiospermic plants. In majority of the angiospermic plants, the spore tetrads are found to be arranged in a linear fashion. Now, once the linear tetrad are formed inside this pollen sac or microsporangium on maturation, each one is released out or separated from this tetrad, and finally they move out or come out through this stomium into the air. The microspore or pollen grain which is released from the pollen sac through this stomium is single celled body having single nucleus and single wall outside the pollen grain, and later on this pollen grain secretes one more layer outside it and it becomes double walled thick. Simultaneously, the single nuclei which is there in this pollen grain that also divides mitotically into 2 nuclei and 2 cells inside each pollen grain. Out of the 2 wall, one is intine, inner one is intine and outer one is exine. This exine is comparatively thicker and resistant to environmental stresses. This intine is thin and both the walls are protective in nature. They protect the pollen grain, and because of the intine and exine, pollen grain can remain safe for long time in the environment. This outer exine is made up of sporopollenin. Sporopollenin is a chemical substance which is indestructible and does not get decomposed in the environment. This is the magnified or another structure of pollen grain, having two cells, generative and vegetative cell. Generative one bigger and vegetative cell is a smaller one, and showing the shape of exine and entine. Children, here you can see germ pore in the pollen grain. This germ pore is a specialized area through which this entine develops outwardly and forms long pollen tube. Through this pollen tube, male gamete are transferred to the ovule of female ovary. Children, you should remember one thing: the development of microspore or pollen grain can be studied under the two broad phases. One is pre-pollination phase and other one is post-pollination phase. The development of this pollen grain up to this stage or up to the complete formation of pollen grain is known as pre-pollination development. Generally, a pollen grain is shed or released by the anther in two-celled stage. So after this pollen grain is transported to the ovule, to the stigma of ovule of pistil, and the two male gamete fused with egg and polar nuclei of ovule. Since two male gametes fuse simultaneously inside the ovule, this is called double fertilization. You should also remember one thing: the two male gametes are produced from generative cell. The generative cell divide mitotically inside the pollen tube and finally forms two male gamete. Through this process, the two important tissue are produced inside the ovule. One is diploid zygote and the other one is endosperm. Endosperm is a triploid tissue, or it acts as a nutritive tissue for the plants. The male gamete and zygote together by fertilization or synegamy forms a diploid zygote, whereas a male gamete fuses with two polar nuclei and it forms a triploid nutritive tissue, endosperm. These two phenomena together is referred to as double fertilization, and double fertilization is the important phenomenon of flowering plants. Finally, after double fertilization, the entire ovule or fertilized ovule is transformed into a seed and this entire ovary into a fruit.